Today's video will be on the topic of Chanel bags and the ancient hand axe. All but one industry has been facing difficult times due to COVID-19. As a matter of fact, this industry is doing better than before, and that would be luxury goods with designer labels. As international travel has become difficult, the designer products in storage has been released for sale online. As people flocked to the website, it eventually crashed down. 90% of the 200 products available for purchase were sold in only 4 hours. Also, shoppers waited in lines in front of stores since early morning to rush in when Chanel announced a price increase in some of their products. Those who hurried to get a hold of designer products are not wealthy. Rather, a study showed they usually lived frugal lives. Likewise, I think everyone has a desire to own designer products. A few years ago, Hyun Sung-wol of North Korean girl group Moranbong Band received publicity after seen to be using a Chanel bag. Although I used to have no interest in designer labels, I have recently had a growing desire to have a designer product of my own. Some see this as a sign of aging. Of course, I don't think I will give big money to buy one for myself. Then, why do we want to own designer bags like this? We'll leave that to the psychologist to answer. Upon reading such articles, it has occurred to me that it is said millions of years ago, the Homo erectus had their own version of designer products. So, I don't think the desire for such things only applies to people of modern day. Then, what do you think people of that period had to call luxury goods? Clothes or leather shoes made of animal skin? Not at all. I will be introducing the hand axe, the luxury good of prehistoric times. Usually, when we talk about stone tools of prehistoric times, we usually think of the chopper, which is made by smashing rocks. The sharper, irregular side of the chopper is used to cut and chop materials. At the same period of the chopper, the hand axes also were made. We can see that the hand axe was smoothed out to be used for various purposes, such as cutting meat and ripping off the tree bark. Also, the ability to make these hand axes means humans had the capability to form such figures in thought, and the intelligence and technical skills to make such tools. The hand axe being repeatedly made and used is important proof that human intelligence was developing. However, it was difficult to make such hand axes, so it seems to be more of an accessory and luxury rather than a practical tool. So, evolutionists support the sexy hand axe theory, suggesting the purpose of using such tools were used to attract the opposite gender by showing off intelligence, financial stability, a sense of style, and a stable physique. Meanwhile, regarding hand axe, there was an interesting theory referring to the Mobius line, which was proposed by Professor Mobius of Harvard University. This theoretical line divides Acheulean hand axe territories from those where only chopper artifacts were found. Considering how the hand axe had not been discovered for quite a long time in the East Asian regions, this theory subtly suggested the people of this region were culturally inferior since prehistoric times. The plot twist here is that Greg Boyan, a once archaeology major and a soldier stationed in Korea, was planning to save money to go back to university. One day, he found a strange-looking stone sticking out of the ground while he and his Korean girlfriend Lee Sang-mi were taking a walk near the Hantan River. He wrote a letter to archaeologists in France about his discovery. He responded to Boyan promptly, "I really want to visit Korea to see it. However, I am not able to do that. Please take the stone to the Professor Kim Won-young of Seoul National University." Then Professor Kim Won-young was surprised to see the stone. It was a miraculous moment that a hand axe was found in Asia, especially in Korea. Therefore, the theory of a Mobius line was overturned. Also, more prehistoric artifacts were found in Jeonggongri of the Gyeonggi Yeoncheon province. And it was known all over the world that prehistoric humans also lived in Korean peninsula. Another surprising thing to know is that huge hand axes were discovered as well in Africa. Such hand axes are not the usual size for fitting in one's hand and cutting objects. Why were such tools made, and how were they used? If that remains a wonder to you, stay tuned, please. That was a bit of food for thought from Professor Kim, Korea. Thank you for your attention.